just don't never want to show up. Brian just never shows up now when he's supposed to be on the show.
I'm honestly, before we go live, I think we should discuss, should we even keep Brian on staff?
Do we need to keep Brian anymore? We brought Chris on, like as a fourth, but I think Chris is doing a better job. We might need to take Brian's power away.
That might be why Brian has stopped coming on the show, as he is being
outshined. Did you push the button pad?
Oh, my bad. I got my bad. I got that trigger finger thing going.
Well, hey, everybody.
What's going on, everybody? Yes, good evening and welcome to the
I didn't say anything bad about anybody. Brian is my buddy. I want Brian right here with us. The other two guys, they don't think so. If you want Brian back in the chat, make sure you put in there like hashtag bring Brian back. Bring Brian home. Bring Brian home.
I had to mute Chris on my other screen. I didn't realize I queued up the other thing and it went live and I was hearing Chris twice, and that's freaky as can be. But anyway,
once is too much, but twice is way too much.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So
Dustin,
say hi to some folks real quick. We got Bugman22 got in here really early. He was excited. 922 Crappie Barbecue, Mr. Sampy. Member Troy from Real and Virtual Outdoors. Joshua Parham, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute. Benoit Fishing Outdoors.
What's up, Mike? What's happening, Mike?
Hooks and Hammocks. Long time no see.
Telly.
Member Dustin from Team Snag and Whisker. Remember, they'll go live right after us.
At 9:05.
9 something.
Or 9:10 or 9:15 or somewhere after 9.
Got John Boy's Catfishing, Creole Catfishing.
What's up, Creole?
There's Carolina Catfish. What's up, David?
David.
Catfish Cowboy.
Get Crappie Day Darren?
I have not, but Buggy wants to know who that girl is up in the right-hand corner.
Whatever.
What's up, Crappie Darren?
That's me, Telly from Hooks and Hammocks.
There's my Telly. She said, she yelled hi and didn't get any response. Good, I didn't hear her.
Oh, there's small water. Welcome back, small water.
Catfish and Crappie. What's up, Mark? Yep, got Small Water Charters. Had a great show with him last week, talking about catching big old baits, crappie and bluegill. Love it. It was a great show. Nubby's Catfishing. What's going on? Wabash Nate, and I'm at the bottom now. I hear Buck Williams. Look at that. Dustin's been a member for 13 months. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you a lot.
I see look ladies in here. But before we get started, I have to say one quick thing. I had the weirdest, craziest, coolest thing happen to me today. Well, first off, USPS.
What, you fell on you fell face first into a bottle of air? What?
No, but USPS sucks. So I had to go to our post office to pick up a package that was supposed to have been delivered yesterday, and they didn't deliver it because it was too heavy. So I had to go get it. So I grab it, come back out, throw it in the truck. As I'm shutting the back door to get in the front seat, a car pulls by me and says, hey. I look over, I'm like, what? Hi. And he whips in and pulls in beside me. Jumps out and said, how you doing, Freddie? What's going on, buddy? I'm like, who is this guy? Don't know who it is off the top of my head. He goes, I bet you don't know who I am. I said, you're right. I don't know who you are. He grabs his phone, flips it open, and it was sure enough 351 Cleveland.
Oh,
YouTuber over.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I know 351 Cleveland.
And he's like, man, you've been doing some great things. He goes, and I saw you. He said, as soon as I seen you, I had to pull in and say, hey, real quick. So I got to meet him. So that's small world. Didn't know he fished in all the same lakes that I do right here, because I've seen some of his stuff, and I know he fished it a couple times, but I didn't know he lived literally 10 minutes down the road from me. So there may be some stuff brewing later on down the road with me and him doing some fishing trips together. We'll see. But that was a really cool thing.
That is really awesome. I got to say thank you to Nina's Kayak Crew, a member of the
Freddie
channel.
Is officially semi-famous.
Yeah, you're getting famous when the locals start knowing who you are.
When he starts riding around with a pencil, a Sharpie in his collar like this, then you know.
Right. Shut up! I have one in my shirt today.
All right. So what are we doing today?
Well, you know what?
Well, other than
where are you going? What's going on? What's new coming up? You're going fishing somewhere, Chad, right?
I am. So not this weekend, because this weekend marks the end of pleasure boat season, and then the following weekend is one of the biggest tournaments in catfish tournament world that I know of, and it's the Rising Sun tournament here over in Rising Sun, Indiana. It's on the Ohio River. We're talking about 180 to 200 boats. So it's a big tournament, big deal around here. It's pretty cool. 200 boats,
size one.
pretty decent size, and 200 boats, and we'll probably weigh in total all 200 boats about 200 pounds of fish because the commercial guys steal our fish. But anyway, it's a good prep tournament. It's a lot of fun, because I get into a tournament last year because I had to go prove myself because my manhood got challenged by Freddie and Chris last year saying that I couldn't catch fish, blah blah blah. So I had to go out last year to even another awesome tournament. It was really a fun time, but I had to go prove myself by whooping both of them. They both combined didn't match mine and my partner David's massive 31-pound catch.
You caught 31 fish?
No, I didn't catch. I caught a 31-pound fish.
Oh, I lost.
Oh, that was in a different tournament, not this Ohio.
You were rambling a lot, and I didn't know where this was going. So
yeah, I was just saying how I finished up here. You guys finished like way down here.
Gotcha.
But you see that right there's 351. He said it was an honor. He got to pull up. Like I said, it was awesome. It was a shock, but awesome at the same time. It was great meeting him. And like I said,
thank you for throwing him to the support. 351. Appreciate that.
That's right. I mean, I just before
Freddie needs all the love he can get.
I just want to bring up that I finished here 24th. In that tournament. Let me keep scrolling. There's Freddie.
This is a totally different tournament to talk.
I know. I'm just saying. I wanted to bring this up that Freddie
wanted a preview of this other thing.
Yeah, Freddie was way down here, and then Chris didn't even get put on the list.
This is one of these measuring contests again.
I'm just saying.
Always go with that.
Yeah, see how big my catfish is compared to your catfish on your shirt.
Well, see, I started doing the Rising Sun tournament. It was actually my first tournament back in 2019 that I ever fished. Back in when I had my little bass tracker, and that's what I was doing a tournament out of. So I fished it a couple years and decided I wasn't going to do it in my little boat anymore. And this is now that I got my polar craft, I will be going back into the tournaments a little bit more. And this is one I wanted to do. So,
all right, everybody, screen record this section.
What are we screen recording?
your dissertation of coming back for. I guess you're coming back for the trophies.
I'm coming back. I'm gonna, look. I mean, winning's what I do. If you're not first, you're last. I live by the rules of Ricky Bobby. I'm
and it's not your polar craft; it's Dee's polar craft that she had to borrow.
Anyway, you guys are
all right. So you're gonna go to Rising Sun. You're gonna set new records.
Probably.
But that's not. That's a big tournament.
It is.
That's a big tournament, but I know of another one that is the largest in the nation. It's not only the largest in the nation. It's got more boats than any other one. It's also had the largest fish ever weighed in a single tournament ever. Does anybody know what it is?
Anybody in chat?
Anybody in chat know what we're talking about? The largest fish weighed 141 pounds.
Craig got something to say to Chad.
141 pounds, y'all. That's a heck of a fish. One fish, 141 pounds.
Well, Chad, we got to break it real quick. Trey, what? Trey had to say something.
I can't believe you left me. I got to meet Dee, but I wanted to say hi.
I don't even want to talk to you or Nina over what you all pulled and waited till I went to work to stop by. But that's
all
cool.
right. Dee loved us.
They said that's okay. Dee loves us more anyway.
Yeah.
So 141-pound fish.
Yeah. 141-pound fish, 237 boats. Which tournament is it, guys? Anybody know?
I do.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
It is. Are we ready? Drum roll. There we go. This is located on Kerr Lake between Virginia and North Carolina. It is the one and the only ice bowl. Let's go ahead and bring Mike up.
All right.
The ice bowl. You got to say the ice bowl.
The ice bowl.
The ice bowl.
Let's go ahead. Y'all welcome Mike into the.
I forgot. I thought you said you were going to bring him up, but I forgot you don't have powers. I will bring up
I have no
our
power.
our guest for tonight.
I have no power.
What's up, Michael?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Good.
Welcome, Mike. Welcome.
Glad to be
100. How did you, first of all, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how you got the ice bowl started, and where you're from, that juicy stuff.
Yeah, the juicy stuff. So I live here near the lake, at Kerr Lake here in Virginia, the south side. And interesting how it got started. It was a friend of mine that actually started, a bass fisherman started this. There's a friend of mine named Chris.
Truth's coming out about Chris. Chris was a bass fisherman, y'all.
I was a bass fisherman before I became a cat fisherman. That's true.
Yeah. So my buddy Chris got this thing together as a small group between him and some other guys, kind of like to talk junk back and forth. And his buddies were from North Carolina. He's from Virginia, vice versa, whichever it was. He actually lived in Carolina and friends in Virginia. So they were always talking smack about we're better fishermen in Virginia, better fishermen in Carolina, so and so. And they started fishing it. It was a small group of people, and then a few more people came on, and they just decided that it was working. The little battle was kind of the deal. So it was the first couple of years, and I fished with him then too. And he didn't really want to pursue putting it together anymore. It's a lot of work to kind of just throw this stuff together. He was busy on the side with charter business, family stuff, different things like that. And I was like, dude, this is a great idea. I said, we're not going anywhere. So after probably the second or third year, I decided, here you go. And now here we are. And we just kept growing and growing. I think what it was that the battle is what drew people in the most, was that, there's the ego, right? The state egos. The Virginia guys are going to bring the heat. They brought the heat, and they brought it for a long time. And then, some of the older fellows decided that, they were kind of hanging it up for tournament fishing and just wanted to do some other stuff. Virginia was North Carolina was just getting started. So they started rallying, grabbing more people. The more people you have, the better your odds are, right? So it just snowballed into that, and
what year was that?
The start?
Yeah, what year did you get started?
Man, I don't even know. I think we're on 13 years now.
Wow.
I want to say, I think this is the 13th year or so. See, wait a minute. Yeah, probably about 13 years now. I'm not 100% sure, really. It's somewhere in the 13-year range.
And Virginia's been taking it, obviously. I'm from Virginia, and he's rooting with Virginia. We've been taking it for they're all 13 years straight, right?
No.
Oh,
I was going to say, wait a minute.
Well,
I don't think you both didn't even contribute to Team North Carolina or Team Virginia last year.
I was there.
I did contribute. My little 15, 16 pounder did kind of help.
Yeah, it was really split down the middle. The first half of the life of the tournament, Virginia ran it, and they ran it hard, and then it slowly started changing guard, and it just the North Carolina guys just kept showing up and showing up and showing up, and it was get to the point where, man, you got 125 North Carolina boats and 75, 80 Virginia boats. You got quite a bit of extra odds there to play in your favor. Not that we don't weigh all of the fish for each team. We weigh whoever has the least amount of boats. So Virginia had.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so if Virginia had 75 boats, for example, then you would only weigh 75 boats, and then you weigh 75 boats from North Carolina. So the top, and all of them, and the top 75. So if everybody didn't catch a fish in Virginia, that was a zero, and then vice versa for either side. So
okay, so I wondered, and I didn't know that from fishing of that you didn't weigh like all 125 and then only 75. It was so found a way to balance it to say
and that gives the other state that loses, right, more fuel. If they had less boats, their ratio was different, right? Same amount of boats, but you have more opportunity for more people, more lines in the waters, more opportunity. So it kind of gives, the other team, hey, next year we need to get some of our buddies to come, right? My buddy over here doesn't fish it, or my buddy here doesn't fish it. Let me get him in. All right, let's tack on some more boats and make this, more even. And it's getting closer, right? We're starting to pull back some more of the Virginia guys getting back in. Some of the younger guys are starting to get in. Some of the other people, and it's a fun tournament. So some people are just coming just to enjoy and have fun, and it's not about any of it, because we just have a good time with it.
Well, I can tell you, Virginians, that my boat can be bought for the Virginia side, because I mean my partner is technically from North Carolina, so we went North Carolina when we came down, but
there's no way he can go.
Yeah,
I'm just
so what he's
saying,
is he goes both ways.
I'm from Kentucky. I mean, who
definitely goes both ways.
Who wants this talent on their team? Shut up, Chris.
But that's the neat thing about your tournament. Not only are you fishing, for big money, but you only got to catch one fish.
One fish.
That's and then having the little competition between North Carolina and Virginia. I mean, really, as a one fish tournament, that's open for anybody. It's not like a lot of other tournaments where it's swayed.
Yeah. We have very few repeat winners. Very few. I want to say two times.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, I know Shane Farah, I think. Don't get me right, but I think he won the first one, and then he won one a few years ago. So when it was like a coffee can tournament, he had won. I want to say that was right. I have to look back, but I want to say he won it twice. I cannot tell you who the other person was. If they did, I cannot remember off the top of my head.
You'll remember my name one day, pal.
We're actually working on something on the side where we're going to try to spit out all of the facts, right? All the top 10 people from each year. So we didn't really track it too good in the beginning. It was more of a we didn't see it coming this way, and I'm pretty much on an island alone, putting stuff together up until tournament day, and then my crew comes in, helps out, and we, me and Casey kind of rock it out and do everything we can, and then some of our other people. But I'm going to put some information together for that here pretty soon.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what does it take? What kind of so there's lots of people putting tournaments together, obviously none as big as yours. So what kind of organization or how much time does it take? I mean, what does it really take to put something like that together? And you don't advertise, and the kind of neat thing is you don't do a ton of advertising.
It's I think it's just, I think our location really kind of suits it, right? We're right on the border of two states where catfishing is big. So it's a lot of catfishing. Uh, the Virginia side has a little less catfishing waters than the North Carolina side does. North Carolina tends to have multiple rivers, multiple major water sources where catfish are prominent in. And, you know, you have a large group down there that's fishing and a lot of new people coming in, right? You know, the young guys are coming in and they're starting to fish hard, fish heavy. They've watched us do it for years, and you know, and it's their turn, you know, passing the torch on to a lot of the new guys, and they're, you know, they're coming on strong. It's a lot of them, you know, same with Virginia.
Well, what about the behind the scenes stuff? You know, you got to get sponsors together. You got to have insurance.
Yeah.
What kinds of things do you need to run that tournament? I guess so people can understand.
For us, because we may be, I don't know where we stand as a size tournament. You know, I think we have a lot of numbers, you know, as far as that goes, but I guess we're the biggest little tournament around. We're not in a major hub. We're not near a city. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not, you know, we don't get corporate type stuff, right? We don't get the multi-billion-dollar businesses, you know, sponsorships. We kind of have a lot of local sponsorship. We have, you know, local support. That's mainly what it comes down to. It's locals, people that support the communities. A lot of community sponsors, people that are just local to that area where we hold the tournament at. You know, we try to make good relationships with the people, and you know, and do what we can for them, and you know, and it helps their community.
Now,
But
Mike, I got a question. So, like you said, you've been doing this tournament now for about 13 years.
Mhm.
Has it always been a one fish tournament, or?
Yep, always been a one fish tournament.
And you guys, I mean, Chris couldn't even weigh one in. How hard is it to catch one fish? I'm just saying.
It's not hard, trust me. It's easier to try not to catch a fish.
And that's one of the coolest things that got me interested in that,
Yeah.
it being a one fish tournament, but not only that one fish, like you said, that North Carolina, Virginia battle makes it so much fun. Like I said, whether you catch like me the past 2 years, I caught a 14 the first year, I went a 16 last year. So I didn't catch the biggest one, but my little bit of weight maybe helped Virginia just a little bit. But just even weighing in that smaller fish, you feel pride in it in a one fish tournament, because you never know. Yeah, it may not put you in the top 10, but it could put you, like this year, I'm 51st or 52nd. Put me in the top 60 out of 237 boats. That's a huge accomplishment to me. So that's pretty cool. And it doesn't hurt, Mike. You got to admit, it doesn't hurt that it's on Kerr Lake, where the world record came from.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
so
we hold, I think we've got, I want to say, the top 3 in the country at 143, 141, and 134, 135. I'm want to say there's another one out there somewhere that someone might have went over that 134 mark.
Joey Baird, he caught a state record there
a
couple years ago. Of course, Dale's fish. All right. In 2017, that's when Dale caught the 141.
Yeah.
What did that do to the lake community, the fishing, and your tournament after that happened? Like did that put a surge of people on the water?
I'm not
You're known for the world record.
Yeah, I think that I want to say, it helped. It helped some, right? But we at the time had a pretty hefty number of catfishermen. Of course, there are people still coming and trying to, find one of those fish. There's more people coming to find them. Yeah. I think it did a great thing for the community. It brought eyes to the community. It's a smaller, Clarksville's a small town. So, the more eyes, the better. and for the whole community there, for everything. So I think it did. I think it did a positive for the whole situation, for the fishing and everything.
Well, I know that we went down there and fished probably the following year. That's when Cabela's had King Cat going on, and we were pre-fishing one evening, and you could have just about walked from boat to boat to boat up in that area near where that fish was caught. It was insane.
Yeah, and it's crazy because almost all the big fish that are caught, like those 100-pounders, they're scattered. The places they're catching them, they're not the same places. I mean, these catfish move, and they move a lot. And when I mean they move a lot, there's days I have went out to catch bait, and before I get to where I'm going to catch bait, I'll stop and I'll kind of cruise an area that I'm planning to fish, and I can meet marking fish like crazy. Come back an hour or two later, and it'd be gone. Everything, bait's gone, fish are gone, and it's like,
what happened?
What happened? Somebody dropped some dynamite here? Or,
you don't have a picture of Chris on your boat, do you?
No, I took that off the bottom of the boat.
Okay, that'll help. Mike,
I thought it was going to help. I put a big, one of those big head stickers underneath the boats, and when I'm going and pulling up, they see Chris. It's like, oh yeah, and they come in. And that's what it looked like. It was like
you're honestly, with a head that big, you're lucky he didn't sink it. But go ahead.
But, yeah, it did help, right? And I think what it helps more is probably the charter guys, right? That people want to come out and have a chance at it. So if you're making a living doing charter catfishing on Turtle Lake, even gassing, right? The chance for big fish is there, and people want to come and try it out and see. And there's some good guys out there.
Just to clear up confusion, because I know this is always complicated for some people, but you've got the Stanton and what are the two rivers? The Stanton River.
Stanton River. Well, there's 4 rivers that feed it, like 4 main rivers. Well, the 2 main rivers and 2.
They feed Kerr, right? They feed Kerr.
Dan River and Stanton River feed into Kerr. Then you have like some smaller tributary rivers. Hyco and Aaron's Creek both feed into it also, and of course they feed right in. A lot of people may call the Stanton River the Roanoke River because that's the original name was the Roanoke River basin. It goes from there to all the way, through all the dams, goes all the way through Gaston, goes on the other side of Gaston. I can't remember what that spot's called down there, but it's still called the Roanoke River.
Yeah, and then it becomes, so once you get to the dam, then that's Gaston.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you pick, well, I guess because of Clarksville. I guess that was a good place because, well, if anyone doesn't know the area, there's Clarksville, and then there's no cell phone service, and there's nothing.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere. It really is. It's a rural community. Lakeside community, but it's a great place, and right where we're having it at is of course right there next to town, so all the amenities are there, the hotels, the food, the restaurants, and things like that. So that's great.
So years ago we started at the hotel, and then I outgrew that pretty quick. And
that was going to be my next question. Like last year a record for number of boats, or has there been more?
Yeah, last year was our biggest year. We had 237 boats. The previous year was a slower year because of expected weather coming in. That scares a lot of people because we were cutting it real close to canceling because the expected weather coming in was not pretty. Extreme high winds, cold, bitter cold. So it was, several crappie tournaments actually canceled that were actually the same day.
Well, it was windy. I'm going to talk about wind. That lake was gnarly.
But we held out and watched the weather because we'd played this game a million times, and it missed us. It turned out to be a pretty decent day, and it brought 100-pound fish in.
Yeah, but there was what was it, 220 something, I think.
That year was 125, 30, 140 boats or so. Maybe it was 150. I can't remember.
I thought it was
because
than that.
because of the weather. But before that, it was 236 boats.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it was rough. We were out there. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
We were used to anchor fishing, and there was not going to be any anchor fishing going on.
You had to get in the cut to do that.
You had to get in a cove and beach it pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily, even on the lake when the winds are high on this lake, because it's a narrow reservoir, we don't get the buildup. We don't have current to fight against. So doesn't mean that it doesn't get a little nasty out there, but you know, it's fishable. You can find somewhere to get and stay safe and be good.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I had a question and I forgot what was going to be.
That happens so frequently.
It does.
If anybody in the chat has any type of question about the ice bowl, throw it in the chat. I'm sure Mike would love to answer some questions because
absolutely.
Like I said, it is by far my favorite tournament and one that I will never miss unless something stops me from.
Well, I mean, 237 boats is freaking awesome, but you're so close to hitting that 250 mark, right? It's like, we've talked about bringing you on, and hopefully somebody is like me, and I've got friends that actually live on Gaston. That's where I stayed. Freddie refused to stay with them because
I go up there. I drive my 6 hours up.
I'm just
check in,
turn it out there,
out the truck, and then fish it and drive home.
Blah blah.
But the size of the boat doesn't even matter. Sorry, go ahead, Chad.
No, you're fine. Yeah, we can get into that too because there is some things that like I said, I've been fishing Gaston with them. I stay out there with them. We go out there and spend a week as well in the spring as well. But I've been to Kerr one time before that, fished it, and we had a blast. But I drove, like I told you, Mike, before the show, I drove like 11 hours, 12 hours to get out there, by myself, to fish that with my buddy Dave, who said, "Hey, what do you think about teaming up with me and fishing the ice bowl?" And I was like, "Well, let me think about it." And Freddie's all, I fished it, and I'm like the greatest fisherman in the world. I caught a 14-pound fish, and I finished in 99th place, top 100, baby. And I was like, God, if Freddie's doing that good, I mean, I got to have a chance. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I drove out there, and I absolutely love it. I do plan on coming back in January to fish it again. But talking about, I probably wouldn't have fished it in my other boat, Chris. Talking about live wells and stuff, and
yeah. Well, you don't need anything excessive. You got to keep one fish alive. So you need to have a fairly decent lifestyle. Well, Bugman had a question. He wanted to know, can he bank fish it, or do you ever have an idea? Like, you ever have that in the plans for the future?
No, we have not had anybody bank fishing yet. It's been asked a couple of times, so it's under the consideration.
It would be, Bugman, it would be the size of this tournament, that there's so many moving parts and everything. I think it could be done, but as maybe being part of the main pot would be difficult to manage, and maybe manage how the fish is going to survive and all those kinds of things. Because you can't use decoy bags. You can't use a stringer. You have to have a live well.
Right.
Yeah. But the neat thing about this is, so it doesn't matter what kind of boat you have. It could be a little John boat or whatever. It's an open launch, which means the captain's meeting's Friday night. And on Saturday morning, you can launch from any of one of the 100 launch sites and fish all you want.
Yeah, anything that's non-obstructed waterways on Kerr Lake.
Yeah, so that's the neat thing. So, in fact, I think there are some people that have placed in the money with John boats.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You don't need anything fancy, just fish survival. And that is one thing that's pretty neat. You don't see, with so many boats, so many fish coming in. The last year I spent sitting down there where everybody was launching, releasing the fish, and they all swam away. Everything was fine. It could be the winter that helped that, obviously, but I didn't see any fish struggling. And really, Mike, you got a very well organized system. The flow with the traffic coming and going, there's not a lot of waiting. I know one year you did have that. I guess that's most of us that know you and know the tournament. There was the one year where there was a woman down at the marina.
Crazy lady.
Yeah, the crazy lady, and that created some chaos. But outside of that, it's been extremely organized. Yeah,
we've definitely had our problems. We have problems every year. Every single one of these tournaments has problems, whether they're known to everybody or not. But it's difficult to come off without a hitch. There's somebody that's got a problem with something at some point or another, right? Whether I did something wrong or didn't do it right, or trying to control 600 people in a very small spot, parking.
It is a very small spot. Yeah. It's incredible that we make it, we can all get in there.
Yeah. And that's why we did some of the rule changes we did. Trailering your boat. 9 times out of 10, all those boats ain't coming back. If they don't catch a fish big enough that they feel like I'm going to walk up on that stage with it, they're not coming back. They're going home. It's cold. They want to go back home and eat. So they're not coming to weigh in. So it does help reduce some of the traffic by allowing the trailering. It's also safer. We used to launch. You can't launch a 16-foot boat next to a 24-foot boat and take off. Somebody's getting left behind. We've had boats nearly swamped in the past.
Shotgun launches.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting ready to deal with, and why I'm glad I have a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Because it was almost 200 boats taking off at one time, basically, and you got 4 and 5 foot swells and
Yeah, it's a great spectacle for video. And
it is.
You can go back to the video that you were looking at earlier, and you can see the launch. And we tried to time the launch where we only let like 5 at a time every minute and a half or 90 seconds, right? And we would group them. That still wasn't good enough. But it is awesome scene, right? I'm not gonna lie. I love watching the launch and things like that. But it became it's a safety matter, and we want everybody home safe. We've had. We've seen our fair share of friends or people that we know, acquaintance, somebody that's had some sort of accident or somebody that knows somebody, right? We're connected with almost everyone at some point or another that's had these accidents that we want to reduce it as much as possible.
Yeah. But yeah, anyone that's ever fished a big tournament and is scared about maybe because the intimidating because of the locals or the cost to enter, this is not one of those. This is a fun tournament. This is a tournament anyone could win, and it's only like $100.
Yep.
So, most tournaments is $100.
Yeah.
So,
it's definitely built to cater to everybody that wants to fish a tournament and have fun. We've got a lot of monster tournaments, big, good, well-ran tournaments out there that are paying out big money. It's big entry fees. And we decided that we were going to stay where we were. We discussed it, talked to multiple people, and, eventually we did have to bring it up, right? It got too expensive to even operate at $50 a boat and then a $20 side pot. And then we made the decision by unanimous voting, right? People coming to me said, "Hey, at least make it $100." Okay, so we did it. We try to listen to what the people want as much as possible. I can't do all the ideas, and not all the ideas are great ideas, but we take every one of them and listen to them and consider them. We just can't make them all happen, but the ones we can. For instance, we brought it up to $100. I don't intend on raising it up anymore. because we look at it as a fun tournament. It's not a big money tournament, even though it pays out well when you got that many boats. I think the winner took home close to $7,000 last year for $100 buy-in. I mean,
I take it.
and we pay out through 20. We pay 10. We paid out through 10 places. Yeah.
I was gonna say I was four spots away. What? Oh.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about it being a one fish tournament, not a huge buy-in, which that's a big attractor to somebody like a little John boat guy, or even me with my first year, my little purple holdout bass boat that went by 14.
Not enough room, is it?
No.
Not enough room for this big old tank and man trying to fit 2 or 3 fish in it. And that's kind of where we're just here. We want everybody to have an opportunity regardless.
Yeah, it's a blast. That trailering and being able to launch, an hour or so early to be able to take your time, be safe, get to your spot, be set up, ready to go when the time's there to go fishing. That the biggest thing is safety, and that the way y'all did that, allowing trailering people to be able to get it in, like Chris said, the smaller boats, the 14, 15, and 16 foot John boats and deep buoys can compete now because they're not up against Chad's 24 foot polar craft with a 200 on it versus my little 16 foot deep B with a 30 horse on it. I can actually fish and try to compete that way. So that's one of the coolest things about it to me. Other than it, like I said, the coolest factor is the camaraderie.
Yeah.
You would think a tournament like that with so many people in it, it would be more cutthroat. I'm gonna win.
There's competitiveness, but it's not. There's not cutthroat.
Yeah, it's if somebody needs help on the water or even getting, last year I seen one of the guys axles messed up, and 2 guys that were pulled over on the side of the road help him fix it real quick so he can get in the water on time. And didn't know each other at all. One of the guys was from Virginia, and I know one of the guys was from North Carolina. The other guy was from a different state, not even one of the states. They pulled over, helped each other out, jumped in, and I seen them talking to each other, hanging out, shaking hands at the weigh-in. So that camaraderie between the catfishermen in this type of tournament, instead of, we've all seen it in like these big bass tournaments, the evil eyes each other get, cut me off to get to my spot before you can get to it kind of thing. You don't have that, and it's a fun tournament.
Do you have the intro or that video queued up, Chad? We can show them, kind of give an idea what it.
I do have it to that one.
This is
part.
What is this? This is where the 141 was caught.
Yes.
You guys got to see this. So this was. Go ahead, Mike. You can give it a little below.
Oh, can you hear it or no? I'm excited with this music. Woo. Got my nerves going already, Mike.
What's funny about this is the boat that's sitting there is Austin Thornton's boat. And the year before the live well, he custom built the live well that's in the boat because he does marine fabrication.
Oh, look at that.
He built that based on the current world record, and the very first opportunity that they used it in a tournament for the Ice Bowl, this is what showed up. And I thought they were kidding when they pulled up. I mean, when they were coming across the water, I got a call from them, and they said, "Hey, we're on the way back." And he says, "I got Dale's fish. We can't hold him in a tank. He doesn't have a way to keep him. He can't haul him." He said, "I think we got a world record here." And I was like, "Just get back here. I need some help, man. Come on." He's like, "No." He said, "I'm serious." I said, "No, for real. I need some help. Come on. I got a bunch of stuff going on." And he's like, "No, I'm serious." And I was like, "Oh, he's serious." So I got down to the boat dock when he showed up, and I walked in, and I'm like, "Okay, did he get me?" did he make me come all the way down here to look at an empty tank? And I opened the door up, and there's a fin. The tail fin was bigger than both of my hands spread. I got skinny, big.
Look at
long-
it right there. Look at that tail right there.
Yeah.
Good.
And this was before we got our stage and our good scale stuff. And we were kind of, doing it old school style right there on the deck. We had good scales, but we weren't prepared to weigh a 150-pound fish, right? So we had to use somebody's live well and zero it out, and it actually come out almost identical to the state scale. So I was happy to see that. But we had I had a camera guy there. So the camera guy that you saw doing the drone footage,
Yeah.
he stuck on the outside of the crowd and couldn't get through to film. So this is cell phone footage we had to cut in to the video because he couldn't get through the crowd.
I can tell you, Mike, that tub that fish is in, I have one out in my backyard. I know how big that tub actually is. And you can see that little boy standing behind that.
Look at the hump on his back. That's Dale's son, actually. That's the guy that caught it. That's his son.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he could put a saddle on it. Right.
Wow. And I was in line waiting to weigh in this year when the gentleman brought the 80-pounder up in the net next to us. And I was like, damn, that's a good fish.
Hog. That was a hog, man. That was a nice fish.
Yeah.
That was wasn't that John Bubba New?
Was that who was that?
I know JBN brought one of the big ones in, I believe.
It was like 2 or 3 really nice ones like that. I know the 80 some, and then there was another one close to it.
Yeah, there was a 70 something. It was pretty close.
Yeah, and the only reason I remember JBN so well was that big sling that he had, that he carried the fish in over his shoulder. Well, he had the sling straps on his shoulder and had the whole fish in the sling, which was, Chad knows my little sling thing that I'm working on, but that was based off of that.
The one he's been promising me for 8 months.
And Dean Matthews had that 80. Joey and Adam 72. Richard and Cody, another Cody, at 64. Keats 60. Let's see, where did they show up at? I thought they were in here too, Bubba and them. Oh, he was fishing with I don't have his name written down because I don't have him written on this.
Look at that.
Sheet.
So what is this, Mike? After the fact, they reweighed it?
This is to get it state certified. So they had to go to Bobcats Bait and Tackle where they had certified scales to get them weighed. And then they took them down to the boat dock to release them.
So the neat thing about that, so what's the world record? What's the weight on the world record?
143.
43. So this is something for everybody to think about. That fish was caught in the morning.
Look at that.
How much weight do you think it lost? It was definitely a world record when he caught it.
It was a world record, probably.
Yeah.
Because the water weight alone that fish lost, just going in and out of a tank is that alone. Right? So, and by the way, just for people that don't know, the world record was not put back in. They tried to keep it alive. They did everything in their power to keep that fish living, to get it certified. But for some reason or another, the state couldn't get there fast enough to do their part. And it just, they lost it. So it's not the same fish. And we know there's more in there.
Look at that.
This one's in there. This one's living, alive and well.
That is
amazing.
Well, we hope he's live and well. I haven't heard of a 150-pound fish floating up on the bank anywhere. So
there is one of your Volkswagen fish right there, people. That's one of those Volkswagen-sized fish.
And it would probably look like it if you were swimming down there. It would probably feel, that big.
I know if I was in 40 foot of water snorkeling or scuba diving and seen the fish that big, I'm swimming
Well,
the other way.
I can guarantee you that's Chase right there, and that fish could have eaten Chase. So,
That's
yeah,
insane. That is insane.
amazing.
That was a lot of fun.
So-
I wished we would have had some of our other setups, with our new stage and stuff. We're working on, trying to improve on that a little bit. We're getting ready to do a raffle here pretty soon. I don't know how long it's going to be, trying to raise money. We're going to put us a trailer together and have something to help out with some of the other local tournaments and things like that. So we're going to kind of, share it with some of the other local trails and things like that, put a stage on it that folds down, all that good stuff, something to make it easier. Because I'm going to tell you what, Ice Bowl week is tough. It's just to get all my stuff together and packed up, because I have a problem asking for help. So I end up just taking the week off and I start doing it myself.
I will straight up volunteer Freddie to help you with whatever you need.
And I know Freddie would be there too. He'd be like, "You ready to talk about it?"
Oh, yeah, he's in. Anybody in the chat though wants that, interested in getting on the tournament. If you don't have a boat or whatever, we're not going to catch anything, but you're more than happy to jump on my boat.
Yeah, you are definitely. If you're on Chris's
Yeah,
boat, you will not be helping Team Virginia.
You will laugh your butt off, but you're
we will
not going
have
to
a
catch
good
many
time.
fish.
We will have a great time.
But
Just ask Keith.
When's the tournament this in 2025, tentatively or officially?
January 25th.
January 25th, guys. So they don't call it the Ice Bowl for nothing. And when I say cold, a few of those years have been brutal. But we've had some nice weather too.
Yep, but the big fish come look, I don't know what it is, but every single year it seems like that there's beautiful, perfect weather. The big fish do not, the triple digit fish don't show up. I was really surprised last year because it was gorgeous weather. The weather last year was beautiful.
It was nice.
And
We slept on the boat.
Yeah, we got the 80 and the, what did I say? The 72. Yeah, the 80 and the 72.
Yeah, the year before that, I think it was only 60 pounds or 60 some pounds, wasn't it?
I think the year before that, was it 64?
Yeah,
was that?
Christian had
Oh,
maybe.
it was, because the year before that, so it was 3 years ago that
And then the year before it was whatchamacallit had 100 and something.
Joel and Brad had the
Yeah.
103. Yeah.
But yeah, even if you don't fish it, you want to just go and see the event. He's got a bunch of great sponsors there at the captain's meeting. If you want to, they're selling stuff, selling product. If you want to go and grab some stuff, if you're close by, you can get some rods and reels, some tackle, cool shirt. Make sure
Come
you
get your Texas gear there. We'll have it. But I think that my favorite part of the whole thing, I think, is the pre-registration day. It's on Friday. It's all day Friday.
The Friday is it's a great time.
And everybody comes in, hangs out, talks, talk smack to each other, state versus state, right? And it's all good, right? We have, knock on wood, we have never had any kind of confrontation between people during the weigh-ins, in between the tournament times, or anything, and we try to keep it that way because it's all about sponsorships these days. And of course we're about it. We have to have sponsors to help us run it.
Yeah.
But we don't care who your personal sponsors are. We don't care who you fish with. We don't care what equipment you're using. Everybody knows the Ice Bowl is sponsored by Catch the Fever, Catfish Clothing, and Hooker's Tournament, all these different people. But you'll never, ever catch anybody that has to do with the Ice Bowl shunning somebody that fishes with slime cat, mad cat's rods, amber rod. We don't care whose rods you fish with. I'll shake your hand and hand you trophies and smile all day long and be happy for you. And that's how we are.
It's a family thing. It really is.
Yeah,
and then
you might get a little chuckle out of using a 5 or 6 foot FOA rod because when people haven't seen a
Here
5-foot
comes the
catfish
plug.
rod, you know.
Shameless plug time.
Yeah, it's a plug time. He didn't get his video in. But no, the neat thing about Friday night is that a lot of us all get together and go have dinner and have a few drinks, and it's a good time.
Or somebody has drinks and peas on your boat.
Ooh, that happened to my boat last year.
It actually happened more than one time, and you don't even know it because after you got all bent out of shape about your warm, non-sweet tea, I went out and looked at your boat. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's why we didn't catch anything. It started from the day before.
That's right.
Yeah. No, it was fun. We don't go to catch. I mean, I've said that before. We don't go to catch fish. We just go to support. Bottom line is we go to support Mike and Mike's event and what he's got going on, and that's that's our job. That's what we're here for. Our job's not catching fish. That's secondary. Well, really, not even that. But it's our job is to support Mike and his tournament and whoever else is participating.
Yeah, and we can't thank everybody enough that comes, and we have a good time with it. I fish catfish a lot. I don't get to fish as often as I want, and I really like meeting the people that do, and the people that show up. And I got a bunch of people on my Facebook friends that I've never even met outside of the tournament, and some I haven't been to the tournament yet. So it's nice to be able to meet them in person and just meet everybody. What was it? What's that song? I heard it on the radio today. I got famous friends at home, back home.
Friends in low places.
I've definitely got friends in low places.
No, I think it's got famous friends back home or something like that.
Yeah. And I thought about that today when I heard that song. I was like, that's our catfish community right there, and I love it. So I encourage everybody that's out there catfishing now to, keep hustling at it, man, and have fun with it. Don't forget why you're there in the first place. We're out here because we love the sport of fishing. It ain't got to be catfish. It ain't got to be bass or crappie. All the anglers out there are out there for the same purpose, to have fun. And, I want to see it stay that way. We can be competitive now. I can get on my boat and be competitive with you, but I would, I'm going to have fun no matter what I do.
Well, I hope we'll keep trying to push that out, and just like the Rising Sun tournament, now that I'm getting back into it, I've been trying to call people out on social media, Freddie, to come out and fish that tournament. I want to see these tournaments get even bigger. Hitting 200 boats in a catfish tournament is awesome. You're closing in a freaking 250. And it's like,
and
you're not that far away. 13 boats, 13 boats.
Yeah. Do you have your thought about what your cap would be?
No, not until we get to it. I mean, we've been told to cap it by folks before, but I'm like, I don't have a reason to right now. We're out here having fun. If it was a big money tournament, like if we put on like $1,000 tournament, right? It'd be capped. It would be specific. But this is fun. I want everybody to come and have fun and do it. I'm not trying to hit numbers. We're just trying to do the best we can. And I've reached out to other people. I'm by far not a great tournament director or anything like that, but anybody else that's doing tournaments and things like that, or have something they're building.
I'll stop you right there. So putting on a tournament takes organization. Mm-hmm. You got to be fair and honest and stick to the plan and stick to the rule. You do all that stuff, Mike. You do a very good job doing that. And I mean, I'm not patting you on the back. It's just, we've been there a long time. It shows, and that's why you have the turnout you do.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it. And I am more than open to help anybody too. If you've got a tournament running and you just need some help, new at it or something.
Yeah. You came up and helped us run scales one time.
Yeah. I mean, anything I can help do, I'm up for it. It's I want to see everybody succeed and do a good job. And I like big money tournaments. Don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to big money tournaments because if I go fish one, I wouldn't mind fishing some big money tournaments. But I haven't put enough time on the water here the past couple of years to put up the big money. But I ain't scared to do it either. I've got a few in my bag.
Well,
Yeah, I'm at that. I can afford that $100 buy-in. You get much more than that. I don't have any time on the water to even think about.
But see, that's only because he's cheap. But anyway, you talked about like size limit and stuff like that or capping no cap is always the rule for me. But you have a 50,000 acre lake there, right? It's 820 miles or 25 miles of shoreline. Mm-hmm. It's a huge reservoir. The only thing holding you guys back to give it, might be like you just said, that parking and the venue, something like that, as far as what you can get in there and get out, right? And keep the fish moving and keep it, all the fish healthy and stuff like that. But there's definitely room on that lake for a lot of anglers. So hopefully again,
if you can.
Hey, real quick, Bugman, do you have any shirts left, Mike? Bugman's asking about.
Actually, I have a few, but let me see.
What size are you, Bugman? If he doesn't have one that's your size, wait till just after Christmas, and there'll be the 2025 ones available on his site or our site or somewhere.
Yeah, these are from last year. These are Chris. I thought I had a catfish shirt on earlier, and I was like, "Oh, it is a catfish shirt."
Yeah, it's a catfish shirt.
I had the catfish logo because we changed it up last year, and I really like. Chris came.
They turned out really good. Yeah,
these were my favorite so far.
He says these are 2X. So we had the orange and we had the army green. Do you have a 2X? You think?
I got the green hoodie.
I'll look and see. I'm not really sure. We sold a lot of them right after the Ice Bowl, and I don't know what I have left. I've got a book here with them all written down. What's left? It's a small handful. I want to say it's mostly just 3X and 4X stuff. Maybe a couple of larges, but I'll look, Bugman, and check it out and see.
Yeah, actually, I think to be honest with you, Bugman, I think we sold all the 2X and 3X out, I believe. But we'll send you a message. If not, watch after Christmas, mid-January. It'll be posted again.
Buggy, if not, just I know some people that make shirts and stuff.
Or you can tell one of these knuckleheads to pick one up for you.
I could pick you one up. I mean, I'll probably still have it. I've got a fishing rod, a reel, and all kinds of stuff waiting for Bugman to come down and hang out sometimes. So it might be by then when he gets this stuff.
And another cool thing at the Ice Bowl is after the weigh-in, while they're tallying everything up, there's giveaways. Mike has some sponsors that donate stuff, and they get given away, and there's a raffle that goes on. All kinds of cool things.
Freddie said that, and this will be the first year that nobody's giving anything away. Good job. Get everybody's hopes up, jerk.
Oh, we're giving stuff away. Don't worry. We'll be giving things away this year. I'm going to start rallying here pretty soon to start panhandling. Hey, Chris, give me something.
Just a second,
That's
Mike.
the toughest part about the whole tournament is going to somebody and asking them for something, going to people and asking, because that's the hardest part.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we get asked every week by a different tournament, but and we have to pick and choose, and sometimes we have to say no. But when you have a great turnout, and you have it's a very positive tournament. That's what a lot of people don't realize. If someone a company doesn't give you product to give away, it's probably because you're brand new. You don't have there's no legacy there, or there's been issues and drama in the past associated with it. So we want to stay away from that a little bit.
I get it. Look, I've gotten sponsors that didn't want to come back to us because we, maybe didn't give the products away the right way, and we just did what we could on stage, and
On down.
done something. But we've had several sponsors that didn't come back because of how we delivered the giveaways, and most of you that it watched or gave it away, that's what we do. We get on stage and we raffle this stuff off and just start pulling names and giving the stuff away. We try to talk about the sponsors as absolute as much as possible. I mean, it's fair to them.
You've always done a good job. There's no, if someone's, in all the sponsors, everyone has equally been treated well.
Yep.
So if, I don't know where.
I try. I really do try.
You're completely.
And another thing, we turn sponsors away sometimes because I have a rule with our tournament that we don't double book sponsors. So if you're an apparel company, Catfish Clothing, for example, isn't considered apparel, right? Catfish brand. I'm not bringing somebody else's brand in.
Yeah.
And so and so. And it's not because I don't want anybody else in there. It's because we try to take care of what we got. We can't handle but so much. So we want to be able to take care of the sponsors that we do have the best we can. So if I pick a sponsor, it's typically, if it's product, we try to stick to it. Now, it gets blurry because now everybody's got multiple different things now, right? So you have brands that sell this, and sell this, but they're also maybe an apparel brand at heart. So then it's like, well, how do I sponsor that and not cover up somebody? And I'll go to some sponsors and ask them, how do you feel about this? And most of the time they're okay with it. But, their main sponsors, the people that are, product specific, we won't take another product sponsor of the same exact thing. And that's not because we don't support their products. It's just we want to be fair to the ones that we do have.
Yep.
Well, that's the way it should be, because too often in our company we'll say what other sponsors are there.
Integrity.
And if there's a competitive brand, like another brand, we won't sponsor it because it's not fair for us to overshadow them or they overshadow us. It's just not fair. But what happens a lot is the director, he's all about the numbers and he wants to get the banner filled and then too often doesn't realize that we didn't really get represented.
Yep.
We didn't get like there's a tournament that has 30 some boats and they always hit us up. And they told us one year, I said, I'm not going to do it. They said, why? I said, because you already have 64 sponsors. What do you need one more for? Well, I want to make sure everybody gets something. I understand that, but we don't, basically we're just giving stuff away for free and we're not. It's got to, like our partnership, it's 50-50. We help out Mike helps us out, and that's the way it should be, whether it's through Facebook marketing or any other way, but just to hit companies up over and over again just so that you can have tons of product to give away, not really fair, especially if they overlap.
Yep.
Yeah. And we kind of target a certain number. I ain't gonna say a certain number of sponsors, but a certain amount of money that we need to
it's your operating costs.
Keep stuff up, right? Because scales, I don't know if anybody's bought a set of good scales lately, but those scales that we have, they were $3,000 for that set of scales.
And that's not counting, you have to pay to get them recalibrated every so often too, right? So
you got health and you got liability insurance. Last time I bought it was like $900.
Yeah.
You got all the other stuff that you got to take care of.
Yeah, so it's things that build up, that cost, the little things. The little things really get you, They
always add up at the very end where you're like, I think I got everything. Oh shit,
days you spend. You'd look back at the month and be like, holy, I spent $200 in fuel this month
Running
on
around.
just the tournament to go pick up this, pick up that, go move this, go get this from this person, whatever it is. It's like all these little costs that people don't account for play a big factor in it.
Yeah,
Rolls the raffle
people don't
ticket.
see all the behind the scenes money that goes into these tournaments, especially something like this one. You got to figure along that banner. You're talking usually a big banner behind this on the stage.
All right.
A couple $100 at least.
Yeah,
for a big banner.
$400 or $500.
Yeah,
So
I'm up there.
a lot of
Trophies.
people don't realize that. You know,
Trophies. Mike's got some of the coolest trophies.
Yeah, those are that's one would be in the top.
Yeah,
five,
there's,
so I get
there's a
one
lot of
those.
money that gets spent. When,
Those trophies are all hand custom made, and I'm scared to death. I think I'm going to lose my guy here pretty soon. He's retiring, and nobody else does it. Nobody. I searched the country over.
They're like a hologram glass.
It's an acrylic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the logo's inside the acrylic. It's pretty neat. You can see it all the way around.
Mm-hmm. So
I know of an important question I needed to ask Mike before we get out of here, and I don't want to forget it.
Was it
So-
during the show or after the show?
No, during, because I wanted on record that when I come out there and win the Ice Bowl,
Not
can
happening.
I throw the Virginia and North Carolina decals away and put a Kentucky logo on it?
on what?
On the trophy. I wanted
thought he
to
had-
see.
he
I wanted
thought
to
he
see.
had
I wanted to
serious
show.
Are you talking about the
Just tell them no.
the state
Even entertaining.
Yeah, the state. You gotta have. I mean, I may just start representing Kentucky in this thing. I'm just saying.
Well, look,
I'm just messing with you, Mike.
we
Mike, don't even entertain. We'll just skip over that. How about you tell everybody? We'll do.
Oh,
A
I was
quick
thinking,
wrap
I
up.
was going to ask that one too. The trophy, you got individual trophies, but then you have a state trophy that goes to
plaque.
local businesses, bounces around throughout the year that
Mhm.
kind of like the sponsors and whatnot get to shine and show this off over the year, right?
Yep, sure do that. So that trophy that you see in the pictures of the plaque, a friend of mine, Kevin Tillett, made that for us years ago. You know, when it was like, Kevin, I need something, and he was, you know, I didn't have my shop set up, so I didn't really have time to do it, and he was in the middle of doing some stuff and working on some projects. And he built that for me, and it just became a staple of, you know, taking it home to the right state, and it goes and hangs up in either a store or somebody's manufacturing shop. You know, whoever, you know, wants to take it home. Really, that's from our sponsors.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you got
Sorry,
anything
Chris, I
else
had
you'd
to
like
ask
to include before we wrap up? So January 25th, guys, Clarksville, Virginia.
Mhm.
Make sure you be there.
Yep.
That's right.
Pre-registration on the 24th. So there could be some rule changes this year. Not necessarily rules on how we fish, but rules on how you sign up. We're working through some of that now. You may have to show up this year, so just keep that in mind. We don't know for sure how we're going to play it out. It's played out fine every year since, but we're trying to improve on things, especially with insurance and stuff like that having to come into play. They require certain things sometimes they've been asking for. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out as we get a little bit closer. But the 25th is where we can expect to land on the Ice Bowl.
And I'm sure we'll reach out
follow
to
you
you.
on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, just go to the page.
Yep.
And
So
shoot a
Ice
message.
Bowl. What is the Facebook page?
Hold on, I'll drop it.
Ice Bowl catfishing tournament.
Ice Bowl Catfishing Tournament. So go check them out on Facebook. Go give them a hi and a follow.
There we
If
go.
you have any questions, you can message Mike through the page.
That's right. All right. Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure having you, man.
Man, thank y'all. I enjoyed it. I hope I didn't talk too much. Sometimes I can talk about fishing all day long, guys. So
No,
No,
I
you're
appreciate
perfect.
you having me on.
We'll probably reach out a little bit closer to it and maybe have you back on to do a little follow up, kind of
Yeah.
spruce it up,
Build
get
up
it
for it.
going.
Yeah, maybe we can get some stuff away when we do it too.
yeah, I'm wanting to see us get you to 250 boats this year. That's
Let's
do it.
that's my personal goal is I'm going to start calling him and be like, look, You know, I drive 11 hours to fish, and if you can't drive a couple hours, there's a lot of people that watch from that area that are afraid to fish against me. That's all I can think of.
Brad's
the
gonna work me
reason.
to death. He's gonna
I
It
mean-
run me.
always goes.
I mean,
it always
look
goes
at
to
look
that.
look at it. Look at it, Mike, right there. First time ever fishing it, coming in 24th out of 237 record-setting boats. I'm just saying.
Looks like
Not bad
David
for-
put you on the fish. That's all I'm gonna say. Looks like David did a good job.
No, David lost like 12 fish before I finally just decided that I was going to catch it. Look at that.
There
Look at
you-
that monster.
There you go.
Look at that
Chad.
monster.
Yeah.
Oh, flex it right there, son.
Hey, that's
You
a
holding
good
it, hey, you know what? Just chat before we leave. He's holding that fish like he's on a guide trip.
Hey, look,
It was a fun
You
time.
don't have to weigh in all the little ones. You can even weigh in the little ones. Look at that.
Hey, look. But you know what? Right there, I don't care. You weighed in a fish, you should be proud of it.
Is
Exactly.
that, was that a channel
just-
cat? Can you pull
It's a
that picture
channel
back?
cat.
No, I'm not bringing that picture back up.
Come on, Freddie. Show
Bring it up,
show
Freddie.
them.
Let's see the channel cat.
Oh,
They've only
One
gone-
more time,
no.
Freddie. Come on.
Hey, Mike, how
Oh,
often do
yeah.
they weigh a channel cat?
Hey, look.
No,
I'll
I'm pretty sure it was a blue, but it was a little one, but I can't
Thank you,
remember.
Prize Matters.
if
There you
that
Okay, let me see.
Night, Bugman.
See, that's a little blue.
I'm gonna go blue.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a big channel for our lake.
It'd be a huge channel. 16 pounder.
because our channel cats are stunted in growth, but
Yeah, so was Freddie.
I've caught some big channels up in Ohio though. I've put some 20-pounders in up there, and I was like, holy!
Yeah.
when I caught the first one up there when I was fishing. I was like, that was pretty sweet. That was the biggest channel I'd ever caught.
There's some big ones around. You just got to find the right locations. Freddie knows where we like to go.
Gotta use possum.
Oh yeah.
25 and a half pound PB right here, baby.
25.
25 and a half pound channel cat. Yes.
Dang, that's nice. You need a mount of that, man. Call Josh.
Honestly, and actually, I sent you a Facebook request. I'll send you a picture of it. And I've been talking to Josh. The only problem is I didn't get any measurements on it. I'd love to have a replica. It was like almost,
guesstimate it.
dude.
Mike,
It was
don't
literally like
Yeah,
almost
don't-
pitch
Don't
black.
accept it.
Mm-mm.
Mike,
You don't want to know what kind of pictures.
my-
are gonna
come
send you.
on, Mike. Be my friend. Join the dark side. But this fish was like dark. I mean, it was like pitch black. It was pretty cool. I'll send you
That's
pictures.
Sweet.
But I look forward to seeing you in January, Mr. Mike. When I'm gonna call right now. You know, depending on who decides to be in my boat.
I'm
We
gonna
haven't
call
worked
right
out all
now.
the
I'm
details
gonna have
yet.
a bigger
I'm,
fish than you this year, Chad. I'm gonna
I'm
beat
just
you
looking
this
at
year.
like at least a top 10, top
We're
5.
still not going to catch anything.
I'm
and
gonna beat
Chris-
Chad and Chris this year.
Oh God, get out of here! It's time for us to end. Make sure you guys go over and watch Team Snag and Whiskers. They're probably already live because Dustin's rude and he just doesn't wait like he's
He
told to.
doesn't wait for nobody.
Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Be very, very safe this weekend. It's the end of pleasure boat season, so they're going to be out in full force. Be safe out there. So
All right, enjoy your holiday weekend, guys.
enjoy it. 3-day weekend, baby, coming up. Love it.
Next week, y'all.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Thank you, guys.